What would you do if your landlord offered you free rent for 6 months, but the price wasn't money, it was the destruction of his own son's marriage? It is the story of a young woman facing many difficulties in life. She fails her college exams, her driving test, and even her love life. That's when she meets Henri. Now, Henri isn't your sweet, cookie-baking grandpa. He's a grumpy, cynical old man who lives alone in a massive apartment and treats everyone like a nuisance. His son, Paul, wants to rent out a room to keep an eye on him, but Henri hates the idea of a stranger in his space. When Constance shows up, he's rude, dismissive, and makes it clear he wants her gone. But then, he notices something. He sees her vulnerability, her desperation, and most importantly, her potential to be a weapon. Henri has a deep-seated hatred for his daughter-in-law Valerie. He thinks she's shallow, annoying, and only with his son for the money. So he makes Constance an offer that sounds like a movie plot. Stay here for free, but you have to make my son fall in love with you and break up his marriage. At first, Constance is horrified. She's a mess, sure, but she's not a homewrecker. She tries to find a normal job at a bar, tries to study, tries to live a clean life. But the pressure of the city starts to crush her. When she realizes she has nowhere else to go and her father's boring shop is the only alternative, she snaps. She agrees to the deal. And just like that, the game begins. But here's the thing about playing with people's hearts, it never goes exactly to plan. Constance starts studying Paul like he's an exam she actually wants to pass. She learns his likes, his dislikes, his favorite music, all fed to her by Henri like a coach in the shadows. Paul is a shy, predictable man, and suddenly, here is this beautiful young student who seems to be his literal soulmate. He doesn't stand a chance. As they spend time together, the tension in the house shifts. Henri watches from the sidelines, satisfied, as the cracks in Paul and Valerie's marriage begin to widen. But Constance is starting to feel the weight of her own soul. She sees that Valerie actually loves Paul. She sees the collateral damage she's causing. She tries to quit, tries to run back home, but when she finds her parents have already turned her bedroom into an office, she realizes there is truly no going back. She is trapped in Henri's web. The manipulation goes into overdrive. Constance plays the piano, a forbidden instrument in the house because it belonged to Henri's late wife, and the music breaks something open in all of them. Henri cries for the first time in decades. Paul is mesmerized. The emotional stakes are skyrocketing, and the line between the act and reality starts to blur. Constance is actually a talented musician, and Henri, despite his bitterness, starts to see her as the daughter he never had. He begins pushing her to apply for the London School of Music, secretly funding her dreams while publicly using her to destroy his son's happiness. It's a twisted, beautiful, and heartbreaking dynamic. The climax hits like a freight train when Paul finally confesses he's in love with Constance. He's ready to throw his whole life away for her. Valerie finds out, the marriage collapses, and Henri has won. The mission is accomplished. But instead of feeling victorious, Constance feels disgusted. She's looking at the wreckage of a family and seeing her own reflection in the debris. Just when it seems like the damage is permanent, a bombshell drops. Valerie is pregnant. In an instant, the narrative flips. Paul, overwhelmed with the news of a child, realizes where his heart truly belongs. He chooses his family. Henri is furious, showing just how deep his bitterness runs, but Constance finally finds her voice. She calls him out on his hypocrisy, reminding him that he's trying to steal his son's happiness just because he's lonely. In the midst of this chaos, a tragic secret comes to light. Henri's wife didn't just pass away, she fell from a window while she was drunk. Henri has been carrying that guilt and anger for 30 years, projecting it onto everyone around him. This revelation changes everything for Constance. She stops running from her own life and decides to fight for what she wants. Encouraged by the very man who tried to use her, she refuses to go back to her father's shop. She stays in Paris, she practices day and night, and she pours all that pain, betrayal, and growth into her music. The ending is a bittersweet masterpiece. Constance heads to London to chase her dreams, finally free from the shadows of her failures. But life has one more twist. Months later, She receives news that Henri has passed away. When she returns to the house, she finds out that in his final days, the old man had finally found peace. He had met his grandson, reconciled with his son, and left his house to the one person who truly understood him, Constance. He leaves her a final letter with a simple, powerful message: never give up. She failed the final round of her music exam, but with Henri's house and his belief in her, she doesn't see it as an end, just a reason to try again. It makes you wonder, was Henri a villain who used a girl in need, or was he a lonely soul who knew exactly what Constance needed to find her own strength? If someone offered you everything you ever wanted at the cost of someone else's happiness, would you take the deal? Let me know in the comments if you think Constance was a victim or a willing accomplice in this game. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into stories that stay with you long after the credits roll. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching.